Hey
Hi.
everybody, it's Lily and Lori. And so we're actually here to just kind of chit chat about what is coming up for the women's conference. So I know that I'm super excited about all the women that are joining us as guests, as well as our beautiful speakers like Lori, who are bringing to the table some of their knowledge and some of their wisdom. And so during the chat, one of the things that Lori's going to be talking about is uncovering self-love. And so really excited to have Lori come. And so Lori, where are you coming to us from?
I am in Ohio.
In Ohio. Nice.
Ohio, yep.
So this is great. Like we have, I was actually going through the list just before I came on of all the women who are actually coming and trying to figure out who's where, specifically so that we can figure out where our live speakers are going to be coming to us from, because we don't want our Australian people or our UK people to have to present at their time, 3 o'clock in the morning. So trying to figure out the agenda and making sure that we're actually tackling across the world, that's a little bit more challenging in terms of being able to get that going. But one of my experiences with the virtual events has been that sometimes people are actually catching and joining us in the calls from, and it is 3 o'clock in the morning, or it is those different times of the day. So it's actually really interesting how technology allows us to be able to do these things. So what has your experience been with the virtual ground now, Lori, with everything that's been happening?
You mean like with social media and everything? Is that?
Well, with social media and with virtual events and things like that, have you been attending any of the virtual events?
Most of mine have been through Zoom, so
okay.
those have been going well, and it's been nice to be able to have those ways to connect with not being able to be out and about. So
yeah, it's great. So are you guys still on lockdown where you guys are?
We are
okay,
for the most part.
So we get to move into what they refer to as phase 3 on Tuesday for us.
Nice,
so on Tuesday we actually get to open our doors again. So
thank you.
But there's still a lot of restrictions in terms of whatever it is that's going on, but at least we get to open up doors and get out of our houses, because I think that's been one of the challenges. Yeah. And because I avoid going out as much as possible because I struggle with wearing the mask. So I just avoid. It's just easier if I just avoid. Then I don't have to wear the mask unless I have to go to a medical appointment with my dad. That's the extent of my voyage out. So it's from work to home, home to work, to my parents. Like that's the extent. So even after we've opened up, I probably still won't go beyond that. Because of the restrictions, so it makes things easier. So it makes things easier for me. Certainly doesn't make things easier for my husband. So he still does all of that fun stuff. So, but like this is really exciting that we actually get to meet with women like you around the world. So, what is it that made you look into joining us for this conference? Like, what was that? That breaking point, or I don't want to call it a breaking point, but what was that? What was that thing that you're like, oh my gosh, I should do this?
Well, I've said for a long time, I took a speaking class and I took a few college courses, and one of them had to be a speaking class. As much of an introvert as I am, and I kind of freeze up when I talk to people, I really liked it. So I thought I want to do some speaking events. Well, it's been years and years, and became a life coach and just trying to think of ways to put myself out there. So when I saw that you posted, you were looking for speakers, I thought I might as well just jump in with both feet, because how else am I going to do it? Right. So I just thought, just jump in.
This is great. So, and we've had different people that have had those experiences. So if you're watching, so Maggie, a couple of years ago, because this is our 4th annual. And so Maggie reached out to me a few years ago and said, hey, my friend said that I need to come and talk at your event. And she kept making reference to her friend. And I'm like, okay, I don't know who your friend is, but like, okay, sounds great. So she went through like what it is that she would like to be able to present. And then, so then at the end I said, okay, sure, this is awesome. Like, I'd really love to have you join us. And so then she's like, okay, well, I'll let Angela know. And I said, okay, well, thank Angela for me. I don't know who Angela is, but you can thank her. And she's like, what? And I'm like, I don't know who Angela is. You keep making reference to Angela, and I have no clue who she is. And Angela also goes by Songbird. So she's like, well, it's Songbird. And I'm like, that doesn't help me. I still don't know who she is. So, but that was her debut. That was where she started. And then that's where she kind of blossomed and grew. And so Maggie's also one of our speakers again this year. So it's amazing at being able to have that debut. And one of the things that I think is that I take great honor in is that over the years is that I've had a number of people that this is the first time that they've actually done an event and that they've participated in an event. And so I feel quite honored that I'm able to have that stepping stone for people to be able to try and jump in. So welcome. So welcome to the dark side.
Thank you.
So can you tell me a little bit more about who you are and what is it that you what you do? You were talking about being a life coach.
I'm a life coach. Yes. I taught yoga for a while, and that kind of got me interested into the life coach aspect of it. And yeah, I just wanted to help women, and on my own path, as I kept discovering things, I kept coming back to self-love. And so that's kind of where I think I'm settling with what my message is.
Nice.
So, yeah.
And that is such a broad topic. So I'm not sure whether or not you did you listen to Elizabeth's podcast that she put together with some of the speakers?
I did not.
So I'll tag you in the link that Elizabeth put out, but she had actually had 4 different speakers, including myself, that actually shared about like, what does the self-love mean? Like, what is it? How does it represent? And it's such a broad topic. So like, it's one theme or one message, but yet all of us, including her, had a different take as to what that self-love looks like. Mm-hmm. So it was actually a really interesting podcast that she actually put together. I really enjoyed listening to it, and I'm looking forward to listening to more of her podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'll listen to it.
So I'll tag you in that one. Okay. So what is your what are you hoping for this to be in terms of your biggest takeaway from this conference? Because as a speaker, you're able to participate as well throughout the entire weekend. So what is your hope for your biggest takeaway?
It would be to like broaden maybe my definition of what self-love is. I know what I've had to go through to find mine, and what I continue to go through every day. And as I, was reading over what I've written so far, it's like, is that everything? But it's what I've experienced, what has helped me to uncover what I, feel inside. So maybe to broaden my definition and to learn other ways that I can deepen my own self-love.
That's beautiful. So one of the things that just for anybody who's listening and watching is that as much as Lori will be one of the people who are actually going to be presenting their information and sharing, is that she also gets to participate in the entire weekend. And so we're going to have opportunities to be able to break out into different sessions where we're actually going to have those opportunities to be able to talk one-on-one with some of the other speakers and some of the other exhibitors and the other guests. And so it's pretty exciting. And I think that that's probably my most favorite part of the conferences, as much as it's going to be different this year with being virtual as opposed to in person, but it really broadens that whole spectrum of who we actually get to connect with. So, and like I said, I was going through the list of where everybody was at, and I think that what I want to do is, but I'm not really good at that whole mapping thing, so I'm going to ask Teresa to be able to do that and see if she can actually plunk on a map where everybody that is participating from, all of the speakers and all of the exhibitors, and where are they all kind of coming from on a map to be able to see just kind of how wide range this really is. Because there was a couple of people that I didn't realize that where they were actually from. So I thought that we had a couple of people from Australia and a couple of people, or one person from the UK, and then across Canada and the US. But we actually have, I think, 2 people from the UK. And so it's actually really interesting to be able to see that. So I think that I would like a visual. So I'm going to throw that out to Teresa tomorrow, Tuesday at our meeting, to see if she can actually help me. And maybe she can't, but if she can't, then, or if she can, be able to kind of map it out to see like, where is everybody coming from? So like, I think that that would be kind of neat. So
that would be cool. Yeah.
So being able to see that. So is there anything else, Lori, that you'd like to be able to add or that you want to share?
No, I just hope that a lot of people come and, learn about self-love, learn that they are enough, because I think that is how we'll change the world. It has to come from inside, and, it'll ripple out, so many times we set out in the world thinking we're going to change it by the actions we take, or but it actually starts from inside. So if I love myself, I'll have more to give to other people. And I know it's taken me a long time to get here. And if what I want to talk about and what the people at the conference want to talk about can shorten that time to take women from not loving themselves to loving themselves, that would be really good.
And you're so right? So it is that journey. And even when we actually get to that one place, there's still more of that journey for us to be able to take. And like you said, being able to shorten that time frame of us being able to figure that out. And one of the things that I think is really amazing is that we see a lot more younger women starting at a much younger age. And I know that when they come to my circles, or they come to my retreats, or they come to the conferences, we always acknowledge them as being the younger people that are actually there and participating, because of the fact that those of us who are into our ages or older, we're like, we really wish that we would have started that much sooner. We would have really wished that we would have had that knowledge to be able to kind of get things going, because it does really make a huge difference in our lives, doesn't it?
It does. It really does. The first time I used no as a complete sentence instead of boundary, I was like, wow, I really like this. I'm liking this self-love stuff. Okay, I'm good.
And I like that, right? That no. And I say that all the time. And sometimes I need to say it because I need to remind myself, but I say that all the time. No is a complete sentence. You can say no without having to give any explanation, without having any reasons for why you've made that decision. You can just say no. And like I said, it definitely is something that is a lot more challenging for when it is what it is that we're feeling, right? So but yeah, so like I love that. I love how you've been able to bring that awareness of, if we can shorten that time frame of how to be able to learn it. And so it's great. And so I'm really looking forward to hearing what it is that you get to share. And I'm looking forward to connecting with you further during the course of the weekend. I've been fortunate as the coordinator that I've been able to connect with many people throughout our private Facebook group that we have for all of our exhibitors and our speakers and our moderators and all that helping people, all of our helping people behind the scenes. So I've been fortunate to be able to get to know everybody over the last, I guess it's been a month and a half.
It doesn't seem possible, right?
I just looked at the thing and went, oh my gosh, it's like February 14th, which I knew that was February 14th. But it's that, like, it's been a month and a half since we've been connecting with all the different speakers and putting all those things together. So I can't believe how quickly that the time has gone. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, we still have a whole list of things that we still need to get done. But they won't all be ready. We still have 3 more weeks. We're good. And we're good. We still have lots of time. It just doesn't feel like it right at this particular second, but we will get there. And so a reminder to everybody is that today until tomorrow, we have been able to reduce the price to $222 Canadian for the conference, as opposed to $555. And some of the questions were about that I've had, and I know that I've sent out a post, and I know that an email has gone out as well, is like, why now? Like, why are we dropping the price so low compared to where it was when we did the early bird? Because typically the early bird is where you actually get that cheaper rate. And it's because we actually have an anonymous sponsor who has donated some money to be able to allow a number of women to be able to attend. But instead of having it so that it's one like only a few women, that we actually put it across so that we can actually have that opening to allow more women to be able to, especially with everything that's been going on with COVID and how challenging all of this has been, is it allows everybody to be able to have that opportunity to, more of an opportunity to be able to sign up. So that is the goal. And so making sure that we can get the message out there for as many women to be able to sign up. And luckily for people like Lori who are in the US, they actually get a discount on top of a discount because they have their dollar is value is a lot higher than ours. And so it's I don't know what it would work out to be, but it would be cheaper in the US. And but it's definitely something that I think is really important for people to participate in. So and for those of us who are in Canada, it is $222 with no taxes, because we always end up with those extra taxes and have to pay always extra, but not in this particular event. We've made it so that it is one price across the board. So so looking forward to having everybody join us. And if you have not yet signed up, you only have until 2:22 tomorrow p.m. So you definitely want to catch it before it disappears and goes back up to the regular price. And registrations closes on the 18th so that we can get the swag boxes mailed out and shipped out to everybody, so that everybody has their swag box. And we've got some really nice goodies inside of our swag box to really enhance that whole self-care. So I hope that I see many of you there. And thanks again, Lori, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.